Good evening, world. Welcome to Juice Word Podcast, episode 55. Topic of conversation tonight is what you know will hold you back. I pray and hope everybody had a good week this week. You know, we all have our own journeys and our own trying times. But I pray everybody made it through whatever they had to go through, you know, to make it to the end of the weekend. You know how it go. Life be life, but God be God. So the topic tonight is about what you know will hold you back. We're going to confront this head on. We're going to confront this head on and elevate from this. Because a lot of times we believe that the knowledge that we've gained in this survival mode and time in life is going to apply across the board when we get to the next level. And I found that through my journey to not be true at all. Because you think about it. Knowledge equals past experiences, learned behavior, and conditional. Anything conditional. Conditional situations, conditional mindsets. Everything is conditional. Everything is subjective. Nothing is solid and concrete or anything when you're in survival mode. So the knowledge that we've gained is from these traumatic experiences. Our learned behaviors from how we were raised and the conditioning that we grew up in, the way we were raised. You know, our parents raised us the way they could. It's not their fault. They raised us the best way they could. And some things that they taught us has been live and true. That's been really anchoring us and keeping us through a lot of tough times. Because I'm a firm believer that you learn more from somebody's death than you do while they're here. That was my experience with my dad dying, my auntie and my grandmother. I learned so much wisdom from them and things that they've told me when they passed. It was time for me to put the rubber to the road. So that's when you really will be able to appreciate somebody. And it's different when you hear it and you know they're still over there. They're going to say the same thing every time you see them. But when they're not there, and all you can do is remember, have the memories of what they told you in those tough times, how to handle it. And that's when you have to rely on the wisdom that you learn from them. And that's when you really see what life is all about. Like they say, keep living, right? So we're supposed to grow, guys. We're never supposed to stay the same. Never supposed to stay the same. We're not. So this is the trap of what you know, the ideology and the wisdom that we've learned from the things that we've experienced in life. What we know is built on survival mode, past trauma, and repeated patterns. It's a loop cycle. We've all come to that conclusion that it's a loop. It's the same situation in different forms, different vessels, different people, same situation, same energy. The truth is, the same thing that kept you alive is the same thing that's going to elevate you. So the survival mindset is going to keep you alive in those situations from those traumatic experiences that you've experienced. It was that force and drive that help you to keep pushing. But that's also going to be the thing that elevates you. Because, for example, we all have trust issues from past relationships, right? We've all had trust issues. Some of us still do. Now, that right there, that's blocking real love because now your lens of what you expected love to be has been tainted and tarnished. So when you look at love, you're like, And that's from, like I said, that's the ideology and knowledge that you gain from past experiences. Because of you knowing that will hold you back when you finally come across someone who has your best interest at heart. Because a lot of things that our past experiences stop. Just off the knowledge that we gain. Even the traumatic experiences is knowledge, it's data. Whether it's a sight, a sound, a smell, a certain song that's on, you know, it's connected to your past trauma. Our hustle mentality, that will hold you back. Because we forget that, yes, we have to grind, yes, we had to get it, but you have to also incorporate rest. You have to incorporate rest into your hustle, into your grind, into your routine. You have to incorporate things that are going to keep your spiritual self sound and help you lined up and aligned with the peaceful things in life that make you happy. That is so important that we do that. And so rest. Rest is what hurts us because we feel like we gotta grind, we gotta get it. Even though you know you need to get some rest. You know you need to take off. You can't just go full-fledged burnout mode. Once you get burnt out, you burnt out. But in life, you gotta be able to take a little pit stop, hit that checkpoint and get some rest. Take time to yourself, mental health days. Do things that help you keep aligned with yourself spiritually. Do what you love to do. That's how you get through your hustle mentality, resting. We have to incorporate rest. Because if you don't incorporate rest, that's blocking your peace and your balance. You have to have a balance. Life is a balance. So our knowledge that we know and what the knowledge that we have to learn, sometimes we hold on to what we already know instead of really seeing what new information is coming about, because we get so comfortable and so stuck that, hey, we don't like change, right? But in order for you to elevate and get to that next level and the life that you want, the level of spirituality that you want, you're going to have to go through some things. You pray for peace. You're going to go through things that require you to obtain peace. You ask for patience. You're going to go through situations that's going to require you to have patience. And that's what life is all about. Life is full of mistakes. It's not all about the mistakes that we make. It's what you do after you make the mistake. It's the mentality behind it. They may have been your best choice on the table, but that doesn't mean that that's going to define who you are, because we've all fell short several times. We've all did things that we're not proud of. We've all been in situations that we shouldn't have been in. And it's the traumatic experiences now that's blocking our future life because we've been so engulfed in what was really going on. Congratulations. That's what's up, 2 million followers. That's what's up, big dog. Congratulations, Chat Hill 3. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We have to take accountability for the things that we put ourselves in and the things that we came into agreement with. That's the only way we can get here, to where we can have to realize and come to that awareness line. We're like, okay, listen, none of that right here is going to apply to this in my life, so let me let that go. And that's what we have to understand. Because sometimes our knowledge becomes a limiter. It stops us, right? Our knowledge creates a false certainty. The knowledge we have creates a false certainty that, hey, this is going to be the same thing over and over and over again. That's a false certainty. That's a false certainty. Like we have, oh man, I just seen this before. You know, we have that mentality. But some things, you know, it may be some similarities, but that's not guaranteed that that's how it's going to be. Because, like I said, I've seen this before. I know how this is in, but you don't, because you're not the same person. The situation ain't the same, and your awareness is different. That's when you have to come in and love yourself and trust yourself and care for yourself even much more, to where you can trust yourself on what you feel. Trust your first mind. Follow your first mind. It's always your true, honest self. Follow your first mind. Don't procrastinate. Don't be stagnant. Jump off the porch. Walk by faith, not by sight. It's a faith walk, not a field walk. We always have to remember that. We always have to remember that, really. But yes, you're not the same person. So you might see something similar. You might see something that, I remember the last time somebody said something like this to me, this is what it was. But you know, it's like I said, it's traumatic experiences. Everything is connected together. So the knowledge that you have can hold you back from raises. It can hold you back from opportunities. It can hold you back from blessings, because you're supposed to observe situations. We go through life. Life is nothing but experiences and communication. And through those experiences, either you're going to observe the situation, let it run its course and move on, or you're going to get absorbed in it, where every time somebody comes in your life, you broke down. And that's whether it's friends, family, whomever, because nobody's going to be in your life forever. Everybody has different seasons, everybody has different journeys, and everybody has different paths. So we have to understand that. Enjoy the time that you have with loved ones, friends, or family, because everybody's not going to be on your journey. You may go somewhere. God may lead you somewhere else. You might have a opportunity for your purpose somewhere else, another job or something like that. You never know. But you can't have anything holding you back where it hinders you from receiving blessings. So it's always best, like I said, observe situations, but don't absorb it. Absorbing is staying too long when the situation in that season is over with and it's affecting your everyday life and you're not in a peaceful state. So that's what that is. So we have to try to avoid that. We have to. Because we make decisions and do things without God even giving us the head nod to be like, okay, yes, that's cool. Yes. And so with those decisions and situations that we put ourselves in, we have to take accountability. And the knowledge of that can really hold us back from what God has for us stepping forward and walking in our journey. Big Sway, what up, big dog? My guy down the road on them 18-wheelers, baby. My guy doing this thing. But yes, this is the hard part though, because after all of that, what you know can blind you from what's really happening. You already had a preconceived notion about life and what's going on. So when you just see a new situation and it feels uncomfortable and it's not what you thought it was going to be, it requires more of a deep overall feeling and effort from all parts of you, even the undeveloped areas. When you get to that point in life, either you're going to barbecue or you're going to mildew, because you're going to have to you're going to step up to the plate and accept this challenge head on and be like, I want better for myself. I want better for my life. Or you're going to be comfortable and stay with the familiarities of what you've always gone through, the loop over and over and over again. Like I say, once you're aware of what's going on and what's real and what's not, once you know better, you do better. And once you see something, you can't unsee it. You got to stay true. You got to make that decision and stick with it. Because being ready isn't an emotion. We get that so mixed up. Ready isn't an emotion, it's a decision. You're never ready for anything in life, but you have to make that decision. That's when you're ready. When you make that decision, give them the courage to say, okay, let's do this. That's when you're ready, when you make that decision. And we always have to really stay close to that and remember that. Because life be lifing, y'all. We all have been through some stuff. We all have been hurt. But it's all about what we do with that. You're going to try to get back and go tit for tat, or you're going to pour into yourself and do better. That's what it's all about. I forgot what I was reading, y'all. Hold on. These are notes I jotted down. I went down a rabbit hole. I love a rabbit hole, y'all. I stay going down a rabbit hole by everything. What up, Al? My homeboy Al tapped in on Facebook. I appreciate y'all love on TikTok, man. Y'all continue to tap the screen so I can remain in your algorithm. Let's run it up. The conversation tonight is about what you know will hold you back. And we talk about the knowledge that you've gained from traumatic experiences when it's time to experience something better, and it may feel similar or things that made you traumatized from your past. Are you going to acknowledge it or step forward, or are you going to fall back and let it keep you going into the loop of the same energy, the same vessel with the same spirit every time? That's what we're talking about tonight, y'all. What you know will hold you back. So the thing about it is this, guys. Elevation requires unlearning, growth, and unlearning and relearning. So that means the things that you traumatically experience, when you get to a point in your life when things are different and it's a brand new area, a brand new way of life, all new everything, you cannot take old mindsets into that new area. You can't, because you'll fumble the bag every time. And you'll miss your mark. Because these are the areas where the lessons that you've learned from those traumatic experiences going to come into effect, because that's why it's so important to find the silver lining in traumatic experiences. Oh yeah, been grinding a lot lately. Oh yeah, me too, Al. I promise you, bro. We're working like every other weekend. I promise you. But yes, when you think about it, you can't take that old mindset into the next level, because you'll fumble the bag, like I said. So you have to unlearn everything you've learned, because it's brand new everything. But you have to be open-minded and optimistic and walk by faith and not by sight. Like I said, it's a faith walk, not a field walk. You have to truly trust and walk in a new area. That's like God giving you your pen, being like, hey, write the rest of your life out. And the thing about it is what's so important about it, speaking life and not death, because when you speak your life that you're going through, is because you've spoken it, you've imagined it, you've thought about it, you've accepted it, you've come into agreement with it. That's why it's so important in speaking life and not death. It's not just speaking, it's the energy you carry, it's the way you look at things, it's the way you address people, it's everything in a whole. It's how you view yourself, how you love yourself too. The key is to love yourself more and care for yourself more, where you understand, because it's no way we can reach that next level if we don't love ourselves. How can we say we love God, but we don't love ourselves? How can we say we trust God if we don't trust ourselves? We're made up in his image, and he breathes the breath of life in us. So we can't exist without him, so what will make us think we can think without him? That's what we all have to realize. We have to go back to the basics of the quantum realm level. This is basic. Go back to the beginning. That tells you everything you need to know. But it's up to you to understand that. You have to acknowledge that. Because I can tell you, everybody else can tell you too, we're blue in the face, but it's up to you to receive it and accept it. Seek ye the kingdom of God. We definitely need to. That should be a thing. We have so many goals and dreams and desires that we have and God has placed on us, but we stand in our own way from reaching them by our emotions, by being in our feelings. What they say, get out of there because ain't no money in there. Listen, that's true. Sometimes we look at things emotional, but you have to take a step back from the smoke and mirrors in life and look at the panoramic view and acknowledge, like, hey, these are the things in me that I need to improve. These are the things in me that God is showing me. I feel like I'm not ready, but you know what, though? I'm not going to back down. Because what Kobe said, shooters miss 100% of the shots they don't take. So shooters going to shoot. Keep shooting till you catch fire. One of them going to fall. Just keep shooting. And that's how life is. Keep shooting. Keep on. You got to shoot your shot. And don't be scared to miss. That's what life is all about, taking chances. Life is already a risk every day when you go out the house, walk into your front porch. You can fall, be having a bad car accident or anything. So why not take a risk on everything else? We only get one life. We have to manage it. And us managing our time, how we supposed to, we don't have time to think about what somebody else got going on or what's going on with the celebrities or what's going on, what happened last night. Man, listen, it's too much time we're wasting out here. Too much time. It's too much time. We see the conditions of the world. We see the conditions of society that's going on. What do you have to hold on in this world? Nothing. Nothing if you thought that you held on to is really concrete and solid. The only thing we have is God. That's it. Just like he asked the man when he was healing the man who couldn't walk. And any miracle that he performed. Will thy faith make you whole? Make you whole? Will thy faith make you whole? You have to believe. You have to know. Like I said, it's a faith walk. You got to know. We got to know, guys. We definitely got to know. We got to know. Because we've been let down so many times in our life because we put our trust in man and not God. That's why we made the decisions that we made. We can't put our trust in man. He said that. Put no trust in man. We need to put trust in him. That's the only thing we have to hold on to. Like, I'm just being real. I ain't trying to preach to y'all, but I'm just being real, man. I'm just being real. Like, that's just me on my journey and my ideology and what I've been through, what I've learned. Like, everything is subjective. Find your peace. Love yourself more. Care for yourself more. And live the way you want to live. Live out loud. Laugh out loud. Love out loud. And like what you like. Fool with the people who fool with you. People who want to see you accelerate. People want to see you grow. People want to see you get, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep them people around you. Because if you ain't got them in your circle, baby, that's a cage. That's hell in the cell, ain't it? Ooh, these folks got hell in the cell by week. Anyway, let me get back on topic. But yes, the elevation is going to require you to unlearn growth and unlearning plus relearning. That means letting go of old identities. You letting go of control. You letting go of needing things to make sense. You letting go of your ego. When you let go of those things, you have to go through a dark night of the soul. That's when you go through an ego removal. And that's when you realize that everything that you thought was your identity is not. That's when you get to that alignment and that oneness. That's why it's so important that we seek ye the kingdom of God for real. It's so important. Because think about your old identities. God didn't tell you those were your identities. We go through life seeing people that we look up to and be like, oh, I like that. Oh, yeah, I like that too. I'm going to do that when I get older. I'm going to drive a car like that. But that's not what God got for you. And when people feel like, oh, I failed at this, I failed at that. No, you didn't fail. That God gave you redirection. You have to look at the cup half full and not half empty. Because we can't fail. God said that also. We can't fail. If you think you can fail, then you will. Like I said, speak life. You can't fail. It's a redirection. That wasn't for you. You move without God giving you the green light to do that. Because I know I've heard of stories of people who built a whole career and God tells them to leave their job and they have a brand new career and God bless them with a totally different direction. That's just discernment. That's just divine alignment. God like, hey, I need you to move. And us holding on to our trauma, that holds us back from God doing things like that in our life. You talk to somebody who's spiritually sounded, you realize that the important things of life are so simple. Waking up in the morning with your family. Waking up in the morning, having a house over your head, a car to drive to work. Simple things, in good health. You can give yourself a bath, you can brush your own teeth. A lot of people can't do that. And if you wake up with family, you wake up with love, and you have kids, and you have just a beautiful environment around you, that's what it's all about. That's the real wealth and the real richness right there. The world is telling us to look other ways for things that are rich and wealthy, but that's not it. And what success is. But we have, like I said, we have to see what's true to us is true for us. Because what's true for me may not be true for you. But everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own way of doing things in life and what works for them. So we should all be open-minded and diverse. We definitely should. But when it comes to that ego removal, letting go of your identities, letting go of control of things that you think you control, because why worry about something you can't control? Letting go of needing to make sense of everything like it don't make sense. Some things are not logical. They say, isn't it in the Bible where it says reality is stranger than fiction? That's true. Because think about it, the truth is normally the most far-fetched thing that you would ever think it would be. And we see this year how this is the year of the awakening, and the information's coming in about what's real and not. It's like everything is fake. So, you have to be open-minded. You can't take things for face value. Everything is engineered, however you look at it. TV, social media, everything is engineered. So we taking in all these things and the knowledge that we're gaining from also our trauma, and it's hindering us. It really is. I've experienced it. I went through it. It's always good to do research yourself. It's always good to trust God and tap into what he got for you, what he telling you. Trust yourself. You can't trust the article. Everything has been tampered with. So why let that get in your way of excelling at your life or what you want to do? Let's say you have to remove your old mindset. Letting go of old identities, letting go of things that you can't control, letting go of the things that need to make sense. Just trust God and move. Like I said, it's a faith walk. But that's what people quit, though. A lot of people don't want to face themselves to address the things that, hey, this right here could possibly be a problem and hinder me from getting this next level or this next job I want or this next area of my life that I'm trying to get to. And you have to cut the dead weight, because the dead weight is what holds you back. It feels like confusion, it feels like instability, but it's really transforming, because once you go through that of you removing your ego out the way and you looking for things for what they really are, like, it's going to feel different because you haven't experienced that. So you're relearning at an early age, at a grown age, really, when you unlearning everything that you thought you knew and you step into this new life and nothing that you learned is applied to this life. I know we've all seen movies and we've all seen things where people say, you think you know something, everything you think you know, forget it. You have to. You can't think. Sometimes you have to just flow and move and trust God. You can meditate, but sometimes action. You got to take a step in order for God to take a step. It's so important that we do that. Divine alignment feels different. You're going into divine alignment with God when you're trying to get rid of your old ways and your old identities. It's going to feel different. It's going to feel heavy. Because you're used to comfort, used to familiarity. Alignment isn't comfort at all. You're not going to be comfortable. You can't grow in a comfortable environment. You have to grow in an uncomfortable environment. Because alignment is truth even when it's uncomfortable. Truth is not meant to be, unicorns and rainbows. That's not how truth is. Truth is uncomfortable. Think about it when somebody's speaking a word to you and you get a conviction. The conviction is when they're speaking the truth to you. That doesn't feel comfortable. It makes you feel away because it's forcing you to align with God, what he's trying to tell you. That's what that is. That's where that conviction comes. And when your conviction comes, that's that uncomfortable feeling like, okay, I need to make changes. What is step one? That's when you start meditating. Okay, what's step one, Lord? What's the first step I need to do? How do I need to correct this about myself? Because when you think about it, when you get into that mode of when you're trying to elevate your life and you transform it, you outgrow environments, you outgrow people, you outgrow your old self. Even you be looking at your own self side out like, man, why was I engaging in that? Like, what I had going on? Why did I put myself through that? And you can't do nothing but blame yourself. It's accountability issue. We the reason our life looked the way it did. We made those choices. Did nobody make us make those choices but us? We chose to move without talking to God first about it, waiting on Him. You definitely can't take your old mindset to a new level. That's why I said you outgrow environments, you outgrow people, you outgrow your old self. What you stood for, the things that you feel like is your ideology, what represents you. God strips all of that away. Because you going to this new level, you can't take nothing with you. You got to be completely honest with yourself. Like, this is where I'm weak at. And you still got to give your all, even in that. That's what it's all about. Because we have to use our discernment over familiarity. We go through the loop so many times because we've made decisions where it's familiar, it feels good. We get that dopamine where it's like, man, listen, I remember the last time I felt like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really pay attention to that. You have to use your discernment over familiarity, because that familiarity is going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel good. But the discernment is going to be a small. It's not going to be loud. It's going to be like, That's what discernment is going to do. Be like, get out of there. Because we have to stop moving off of habit, fear, and comfort. That's why we have to choose discernment over familiarity. We can't operate off of emotions. We cannot operate off of impulses, because that always gets us in a traumatic situation. That always gets us in a bad spot. For me, anyway. I can't speak for y'all, but me, emotions and impulses, that get you in messed up spots because you're not patient. You're not waiting on God. You're not understanding and trusting yourself fully. You're not. Like old people say, keep living. We still got a lot of life to live. But your mentality is what's going to help you reach that and live that longer life. We have to change our mindset. We definitely need to. But yes, we can't move off of habit, fear, and comfort. We need to start moving off of awareness, discernment, and alignment. So whatever bringing you your peace, whatever is helping you grow, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how heavy it is, you have to wake up and really take time to take a step back from the smoke and mirrors and be like, okay, I can't pay attention to these emotions, how I'm feeling, but look at the peace that I have. Look at the undeniable joy that I have. Look at the growth. I've grown so much in this space. I've done so many good things in this space. Like, I'm gaining so much clarity in this space. So that's when you realize that right there. That's when you're moving off awareness, discernment, and alignment. That's why I said sometimes you have to isolate and get to yourself to hear God. Because God is going to tell you, I need your full existence and I need your full alignment. I need your full attention. I need all of you focused right here, right now. You have to cut out the outside noise. Because your journey is your journey. It may look crazy to some people, but sometimes it's not for them to really look good to them. It's not meant for them to understand, because it's your journey, just like their journey. This is why we focus on what everybody has going on. We need to focus on ourselves, because if we focus on our journey, we don't have time to worry about what they got going on in their journey. It's so important. Because I'm a firm believer, everybody minded their own business, the world will be a better place. And I feel like that's so true nowadays. If everybody minded their own business and focus on their own personal growth, everything will be great. That's what we should do. Because we waste so much time on things that really we thought that meant something, that had weight and that it had rank, but it really don't. That's why I said once you grow, you look at things that you really looked at, it was like, dang, I thought like that. Oh, dang, I like that. Dang, what was I on? That's when you look at stuff like that, it was like, dang, that lets you know that you've grown. You've grown a lot. But yeah, after you outgrow environments, outgrowing people, and you outgrow your old self, you can't take that old mindset to the next level. You can't. We can't move off of impulses. We got to be aware, we got to discern, and we got to be in alignment with God. That's very important. And just because it feels less familiar don't mean it ain't right. Just because it's uncomfortable don't mean it ain't right. Just because it feels new doesn't mean it's wrong. Because once you operate out of survival mode, once you're trying to regulate your nervous system and you're cool and you're relaxed and you're healing, that's when your nervous system is going to process everything. That's when you heal. You have to heal in a peaceful environment. You can't heal out in the mix because you have to be quiet. You have to sit to yourself. You have to understand the things and take accountability for the things that you didn't do, that you did do, that you should have done, and understand how are you going to take a step forward and what boundaries are you setting for you in this place now. What are you going to do to prevent you from getting back to this place? And what are you going to do to help climb out of this space? Those are the things, the $1 million questions that you have to answer for yourself. Are you who you really think you are? Do you love yourself enough? When you have to answer that question, if you love yourself enough, that's when you know, okay, it's real now. How much do I love myself? Why don't I love myself? You have to ask yourself those questions. And looking at your environment and the people you hang around and the stuff that you are participating in, that's going to determine whether you love yourself or not. It's definitely going to determine how you feel about yourself, because we attract the environment that we have around us. Definitely. We definitely do. I had to swallow that pill a while back. Like, hey, it is what it is. But that's life. It's growth. Everybody got to start from somewhere. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's made bad decisions. And I don't even like to say bad decisions. Let me stop saying it. It's not bad decisions. It's your option that you have on the table. And what options and what decisions you choose is going to have a positive and negative connotation no matter what decisions you make. We're always meant or ordained to go through something. It's called character building exercises. That's what it's all about. Because if you don't never go through nothing, how you going to know what good feels like? If you never had loss, how you know what gain feels like? If you never fell off the bike, how you know what it's like getting up and getting back on it and getting it right? We all gonna take bumps and bruises on this road. We all gonna hit potholes in the road. But what are you gonna do? Are you gonna cry because you hit the pothole? Or are you gonna be like, dang, I hit that pothole, man. Let me see what damage I done caused. And keep on going. Observe, don't absorb. Don't take nothing personal. Take everything as business. Everything is business. We have to understand that. Life is full of experiences. We have to observe those experiences. We don't absorb from them. It took a lot to learn that. That's a heavy pill to swallow right there. Because accountability is something that, man, listen, a lot of people run from accountability. A lot of people run from accountability. Nobody wants to hold themselves accountable anymore. And that's what it takes. Going through those uncomfortable moments, that's how you get to the next level of whatever your desire and accomplishment or whatever you and God have had a conversation about. God got you. You can't fail. Get out of your own way. And that's the biggest thing. We get in our own way. Not no devil. The devil made me do it, all of that. Tomfoolery, buffoonery, however you want to say it. No. God don't tempt us. We tempted by our own evil and dark desires. And the quicker we understand that, the more you understand what it is. We stand in our own way. We stand in our own way. We stand in our own way. What beliefs are you holding on to that you don't deserve, that don't deserve you anymore? What beliefs are you holding on to that don't deserve you anymore? Take a deep thought about that. What beliefs are you holding on to that don't deserve you anymore? You bigger than that. When people be like, oh, you feel like you too good for this? I am. Knowing that how people around us can hinder you from reaching the heights that you need to reach and the things that God has for you, the wrong crowd can affect that. Yes, you are too good to hang around stuff that's beneath you. Man, listen, you too good. Hey, you feel like you too, I am too good for this. I ain't trying to block my blessings. I'm trying to get out of my own way. Some stuff you just don't participate in, and that's growth. We all supposed to change. You'd be a fool to stay the same. We're all supposed to change. We're all supposed to grow. We're all supposed to elevate. We're all supposed to expand. We're supposed to work on ourselves being like an overall, a well-rounded person. Not just a one-trick pony. Because you got to be like a duck in the rain. You got to bob and weave with life. You got to roll with the punches. You got to be like water. You got to flow. Can't fight. Can't fight the tide. How life goes, how life goes. But what you going to do? Like I said, you're going to barbecue a mildew. But yes, what beliefs are you holding on to that don't deserve you anymore? Another one is where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? Where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? Think deep about that one. That's another deep question that was in my mind. And the third question is, are you willing to release what you know to become who you're supposed to be? Are you willing to let go of your knowledge of what you know? Or everything, all the knowledge that you've learned, let all that go. The experiences, traumatic, toxicity, all of that stuff. Are you willing to let all that go and get out of your way, remove your ego, get out your feelings, and make the decision to do what's best for you to reach your higher level of life? Because I said, we're always in our own way. There's nobody's fault our life is where it is or how everything go because it's us. We allowed it to. We allowed it to happen. Because really, it's kind of like they ordained to take you down through that for real. But y'all don't want to have that conversation. Y'all ready for that conversation. Because Judas was ordained to portray Jesus. But, hey, we'll have that conversation another day. But you got to understand, though, no matter what you go through in life, you're going to go through something. You're going to go through something. But it's all about what you take from it. The silver lining, the wisdom, and the knowledge you gain from it. Why did this happen? What did I come into agreement with that put me in this position to allow this to happen? Okay, now that I allow this to happen, did I learn my lesson where I don't need to do that no more because this happened? So what I need to do to get myself out of this? And what boundaries do I need to set? What things do I need to do to love myself more, to raise my confidence in myself, not to allow this to happen again? That's what it's all about. That's your mindset. That's how you should really think about it. That's how you have to really analyze it. Because every detail matters. We're not skipping steps, we're going through it, taking a scenic route. Take time and smell the roses. Look at the poinsettias. Look at the tulips. Yeah, look at the baby's breath. Y'all know a little something about some plants. The baby breath. Yeah, look at all of it. Observe it. Because this journey is everlasting. It's never just, oh, I'm going to do this journey for 30 days and I'm done. No, this is a lifetime commitment. This is a lifetime commitment to being a better version of yourself. You never stop being a better version of yourself. You never stop learning. You're supposed to learn something new every day. And we have to make a commitment to ourselves. We have to make a commitment to the reason for you being here. Do you know why you're here? Find your purpose. Seek ye the kingdom of God. Tap in. But yes, I'm going to read the questions out to y'all one more time. What beliefs are you holding on to that don't deserve you anymore? What old mindsets are you still obtaining that you know that, why do I even much entertain? Why do I even have this thought in my head? Why do I even much feel like this about this? You got to remove that identity. You got to remove your ego. And where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? Where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? The things that you're scared to do. I think about that story of Alice in Wonderland. She said do 6 difficult things before breakfast. And when you manage your mornings, like I've been doing, mastering my mornings, listen, you're going to do 6 difficult things before breakfast. You're going to be assertive, you're going to be connected, you're going to be committed. So what beliefs are you holding on to that don't deserve you anymore? Where are you choosing comfort in your life over growth? And are you willing to release what you know to become who you're supposed to be? Are you willing to release all of those vices, everything that you're attached to become who you're meant to be? Who God ordained you to be? Who God predestined you to be? What you know, what got you here, it's good to know where you came from, what you endured, what transpired, what you had to do to survive. That's okay. It's good. Acknowledge that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, once you acknowledge every part of it, pat yourself on the back and say, congratulations, I made it. Then hit Control Alt Delete and erase it. It's good to know what got you here, but it might be the very thing that stopped you from becoming who you meant to be. So take time and acknowledge how far you've come. Pat yourself on the back. You should celebrate yourself. Okay? Delete it. Now, you're starting all over again, day one. That's what it's all about. You have to unlearn in order to relearn. Pain is the catalyst for change. All of that pain you survived in survival mode, this is the catalyst for change. So now once you get to the change, you can't rely on that pain anymore. You can't have no remembrance of that because nothing of that is going to help you here. So remember, never forget where you came from. That can be the very thing that keep you from being who you need to be. Food for thought. I appreciate y'all tapping in tonight. Episode 55 of Drew's Word Podcast. What you know may hold you back. Year 2, deeper conversations. Really focused on speaking life. Life is short. Life, love, and faith. That's what it's all about. We have uncomfortable conversations. We address things head on. We're not sweeping nothing under the rug. We're going to have real conversations. No matter how comfortable it is, the things that people don't address, people don't want to talk about. That's what this platform is about. And through my growth and my journey, I share with you guys on the things that I've observed, things I've learned from what God has shown me, and the things I've experienced, and the wisdom and knowledge I've gained. I'm just glad I'm able to bless you guys with it. This may not help everybody, but it might hit for somebody. If you want to know, if you haven't been on my journey with me from the beginning since I started this podcast 2 years ago, go back, check out all my information on all social media platforms from the beginning, all my videos. Like, share, subscribe, share with a friend. I appreciate all the love and the support. This has been a beautiful journey. It's been a difficult journey. Things that you have to figure out in life, things that you have to really tap into, things you have to remove from your life. You see the true meaning of life when you quiet the noise and get to yourself and be able to sit with yourself and appreciate the real simple things in life. So please never forget the simple things in life. Those things make the biggest things so sweet because you got to have that foundation first. I ain't got nothing else for y'all. Y'all got any questions or anything? Y'all don't? Hey, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support, like I said, man. Y'all keep a lookout for more content coming. I've been working on some nice little things, working on some things. So, you know, this Juice Podcast has been going hard and going strong, and we're going to keep on going. So tap in, share with a friend. Y'all want to join the community? Come bend a few corners with your boy. All right? Y'all be blessed out there. Y'all have a blessed morning. Everything want to freeze up. All right.